Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in to Niche Talk. We're in August, guys. Over than half of 2024 is already behind us. Insane how quickly time flies, but it also means that we've given plenty of time to fragrance houses around the world to present something good and new to us. What I did today, I picked 5 perfumes that were released this year and that, in my opinion, made a lot of noise. Let's see what you and I think about them. Should we start with a good release or with a shitty release? Let's start with a controversial one. Tubereuse Astrale from Maison Crivelli. I'm really sorry if you guys love it. I'm really sorry if you blind bought this fragrance and expected a classic, nice, creamy, sweet, floral tuberose, or maybe the poisonous kind of tuberose with a bit of a medicinal nuance to it. I'm sorry, because this is none of these two. This fragrance presents to us the green, nauseating, sour, plasticky side of tuberose that is sickening. The opening of this perfume smells like a bunch of sour berries. I really don't understand where people get the milkiness in this fragrance from, because to me there is absolutely nothing lactonic or creamy about it whatsoever. In heart, there is osmanthus, and it comes across super prominent. It gives the composition that nice soft fruity nuance, almost hints at a suede-like experience, but it's drowning, absolutely drowning in that artificial rubbery smell mixed with sour berry compote. I understand why some people find this intriguing, because there is definitely complexity to it, there is creativity to it, there is phenomenal performance and projection and longevity. Given that this is a nauseating fragrance to me, I get sick wearing this, I really did not want it to perform well, but it did. Maybe it's just not my style and not my vibe, but let me know how you feel about it. I'm not gonna be thrilled to discover that there is something fundamentally wrong with the way my nose perceives this fragrance, but let's find out anyway. Come at me. Now this is a successful launch. Oud for Gretness NEO by Initio. It's a finalized version of the original Oud for Gretness. Definitely more balanced, more harmonious, more welcoming, more appealing, and as I like to say it, this is what the original should have smelled like. Still not so much about oud. The original Oud for Gretness is also not very much an oud perfume to me, but at least they removed the overdose of patchouli from the base notes that came across super dusty, almost smelled like an old piece of furniture with this thick layer of dust on it. In Neo, that chemical patchouli side was replaced with a much sweeter, warmer, balsamic experience. If you look at the pyramid, you will notice that patchouli is no longer in the base notes, and instead we have fir balsam. Of course, the citruses in the top notes is also a new thing in the Neo, which kind of gives it more lively personality. Great job, Initio. I think it's an amazing upgrade. Another gorgeous release of the year, Saint-Honore from BDK. The fragrance honors the first bricks and mortar location of BDK in Paris, and I know that the creator was inspired by the smells of Paris and the smells and the materials that were used to construct that building in Paris that eventually became the home of the first BDK boutique. The name, as you probably already figured, 312 Saint-Honore is the actual address of the location. It's a powdery, musky, gourmand fragrance with a lot of iris and heart that creates that extra powdery, almost cosmetic smell, and with a mix of orange blossom and tonka bean that create a nice, sweet, desserty overlay there. When I smell this fragrance, I imagine standing in front of an old building in Paris where there is some type of construction going on inside. I'm watching the construction while eating a vanilla eclair. So bizarre. Stay with me. So I'm watching the construction, I'm eating the vanilla eclair, and some sort of like construction dust hits my nose at the same time. It's not a thick, dense gourmand fragrance. not like Oriana from Parfums de Marly, for example. Saint-Honore is quite airy, it's very delicate, it's almost like a veil-like fragrance. It has ambroxan and amber musks in the base, so you can imagine it being a much lighter sort of gourmand. Beautiful, classy, ladylike, in my opinion, fragrance for summer nights, and it really deserves all the hype, so I highly recommend you to check it out. Saint-Honore from BDK. The next one for me sits in the weird fragrance department, and when I say it, I mean it, because first time when I smelled Isvaraya from Indult, I actually thought that is something from the Quattro Pizzi or from Nasomato line. The only thing is Alessandro Gualtieri, the perfumer and the founder of both of those brands, does not really work too much with florals. Like, I can't really remember any floral orange blossom type of scents in his lines apart from Narcotic V. Isvaraya here definitely sends me to that Quattro Pizzi, like crazy Italian kind of department of the fragrance world. It's certainly more of an outstanding, think outside of the box kind of perfume. And it's not Alessandro Gualtieri, it's a master perfumer, Kirk Jan, that created this entire Indult line. Opens up with a dirty indolic jasmine to me, with a hint of incense and something artificially sweet. In the base, we get the support of warm balsamic notes and a lot of earthy, dirty experience from patchouli and from moss. It's a little bit repulsive at first, but I must admit, as it dries down, it becomes more and more enjoyable. Definitely not an everyday type of fragrance, but certainly deserves a spot on your fragrance shelf if you are into more complex, sophisticated, and bizarre fragrances, if you're at that level, because I don't think Isvaraya would be appreciated by someone who just starts in the world of niche perfumes. And at last, my favorite, Quattro Pizzi from Casa Moratti. Now, this is the tuberose that we deserve, guys. It's still pretty unusual, so it's not gonna fit your expectations of a sexy floral fragrance, although there is some sexiness to it for sure, and I'm gonna get to it later. But it's a perfect fragrance for those of you who are looking for a daytime, polite, classy white floral scent. This is it. It features a nice green tuberose with a tobacco and hay nuance and heart, which kind of reminds me of the smell of oatmeal cookies a little bit. And also we have a lot of sweet, creamy coconut in here. Quattro Pizzi is actually the name of a palace in Palermo in Sicily that was once a home to some of the most famous and influential Italian families. And the scent is meant to represent the era or the time in history when, quote-unquote, love, nobility, and beauty were perfectly intertwined with secrecy and sin. Whatever that means, I love it, because I think it really describes the nature of this perfume, which is so tasteful and classy and elegant on the surface, but in heart we get that sweet booziness that hints at a very rowdy and carnal side. Incredibly gorgeous, polite, but with a twist. I just realized that it would probably make sense to talk about these fragrances in a sequence that sort of reflects how much I like them, but I didn't do it, so let's quickly rank them now. Number 5. I'm sorry, Quentin Bish fans, it's Tubereuse Astrale. Number 4, I'm sorry, Maison Courkjan fans, I'll put Isvaraya. Number 3, we have Neo from Initio. Then I'll put Saint-Honore from BDK, and of course, number 1 is the creamy and green tuberose from Casa Moratti, the first Casa Moratti fragrance that I will get a full bottle of. Can you imagine? Have you guys smelled these perfumes, and do you agree with this kind of placement? Let me know in the comments. Also, let me know which other 2024 releases you want to be reviewed on this channel. As always, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.